This old man went to buy 50 centimeters of wire, but the staff charged 1 meter. He did not understand this shameless behavior, so he asked the store manager to come out to talk. The customer behind couldn't wait any longer, so he said he wanted to pay him the missing amount, but he still wanted the store manager to explain clearly, so he argued with each other for 2 hours. Every day he wakes up at 5 a.m. 5 hours 40 minutes shave. 5:50 a.m. drink a cup of coffee. Take his favorite coin and go out for a walk around the sub-district at 6 a.m. He will pick up trash from each house and will take it away to conveniently sort waste. When he saw young people park their cars indiscriminately, he also reminded them. So the neighbors are used to it. Jim is his longtime neighbor and wakes up on time to exercise every day. At the intersection there was a railing blocking the road every day. He checked every day to see if there were any traces of cars around to make sure his neighbors always had a parking space. He always reminds the neighbor's dog not to pee miscellaneously because sex affects the quality of the area. There is often a sick cat next to his house. He also often curses with it. Today is his last day of work. Colleagues organize farewell for him. Seeing his picture on the cake cut in half, he angrily kicked the baby and left. When he got home, he received a scam call. He got angry and took the initiative to unplug the phone. He put all the money in the bank account, then seriously cleaned the house, put on his favorite suit, neatly stacked newspapers on the floor and shot a snail in the ceiling. He wanted to hang himself to end his life. But when he finished all the preparations, he discovered that there was a strange car outside. He wanted to stop but heard that this couple had just moved in, so he had to let them stop the car there. But his driving skills are too bad. Even though he has a wife to command, he can't park. It looked so itchy, so he rushed in to help. "Hello, sir." "Hello, kid. What's your name?" "Otto." "My name is Amy." "My name is Luna." "Nice to meet you." Fortunately, Otto's skills are good, so he can park the car very quickly. When he returned home, he fell into contemplation. He remembered the happy scene with his lover that year, but was startled by the call. It turned out that to thank him for his help, the family made him a lunchbox. This couple has a small problem, that is borrowing his repair tools. At this time, Otto met the other wildcat. They looked at each other like enemies and then turned away again. When he got home, he opened the lunchbox, smelled the aroma, so he planned to finish eating and then commit suicide. This time, he was prepared to wear a rope around his neck, knock over his chair, and finally he was reunited with his wife. It was a happy reunion because the beautiful girl was not careful to drop things. Otto found out and helped the girl to pick it up, but the girl had already boarded the train without seeing her whereabouts, so Otto also boarded the train with her. He searched all the compartments and finally found this beautiful girl. Just like that, the two of them met. The two of them talked happily. But in the middle of the way, the ticket counter appeared. Because his ticket was not on the right trip, he needed more money. He searched forever and couldn't find any. The girl took out the change from her pocket, so she helped him. After paying, he still had a coin left in his hand. The girl told him to keep it as a souvenir because it was a lucky coin. After many years, he still has that coin. In the blink of an eye everything seems to stand still. Because the ceiling was made of plaster, it was not enough to bear his weight. His plan failed again. He saw that flowers were on sale, so he rushed to buy a bouquet of flowers and went to his wife's grave to say all his longing. He told her all about his new neighbor and suicide. There were times when he would unconsciously reach out and take her hand as if this action had been engraved in his blood, but once he woke up, everything was gone. The next morning, Otto returned the lunchbox to this family with a thank you note on it. When he returned, he saw that the neighbor was throwing stones at the other cat. The reason was that her dog was scratched by it, and criticized. "It's all sick. Your whole body is full of sickness, but I don't throw stones at you." When he got home, he repaired the broken ceiling, but the other couple knocked on the door. They returned the goods to him. Mary invited him to eat cookies and at the same time borrowed the ladder from his house. Otto has a friend because the two have different interests, so they haven't talked for a long time. Now he is very sick and can't move. Every year he helps their family repair the heating system. Although Lubin is sick, but he understands. Otto told him he was leaving before he left. Clutching his pocket, but Otto persisted with his decision to prepare a third suicide plan. He connected the pipe with the smoke man and put the other end in the car. He ate the cake Mary gave him and was about to commit suicide. When the car started, the melodious music sounded. The smoke from the car kept coming into the car. The memory hidden in the heart has awakened. From the moment he met his wife, to the time they were intimate with each other, Otto constantly mumbled the words of that year. Even every word and every episode is full of memories but parallel to reality. Mary knocked on her husband's door, fell down the ladder, so she was taken away, because she didn't have a driver's license, so she came to him. She hoped he would take her and her children to the hospital. The situation was urgent, so he temporarily stopped plan to commit suicide. You have sent looking at two innocent children playing in the hospital. His inner voice was also stirring. He kept talking to Sung and became close. At this time a clown came. You have sent wanted to perform virtual reality, but he had to lend her a coin. When Mary finished her husband's work, she saw that the clown was crying, the reason being that Otto's coin was lost and Otto hit. From then on, Otto became a hero in the eyes of the children. You have sent. Otto looks both cute and funny. Mary finds him very similar to her father. Fortunately, her husband's injury was okay, but his plan failed. Not long after the first snow fell, Mary discovered the cat lying in front of her house. She hoped that Otto would adopt this poor cat, but Otto did not want to agree. Jim had just passed by, so he agreed to take the cat home to take care of. After the first failed attempt, he returned to the place where he first met his wife. When he was about to jump down, an old man had a stroke and fell down. Seeing that scene, everyone took out their phones to record. Only Otto quickly jumped down to bring the old man up first. The scene was spread on the internet, until when the old man was saved. Otto stood there watching the train coming. He finally got his wish, but finally he seemed to hear his wife's call. "Give me your hand quickly." It's like the Otto is pulled up at the last moment. After this time, you not only failed to commit suicide but became a hero. Otto met this young man who threw away this newspaper. He hoped that the young man could find a decent job, not to throw newspapers around to earn money. "I work at the pizzeria last night and work at the factory, so you're M.R. Anderson, right?" He used to go to school. "M.R.S. Anderson is my professor. She was the first person who didn't call me weird because of the other gender. You have sent. She was the first one to call out my new name. She convinced the other teachers to do the same. She also helps me a lot at school. I won't give you notices anymore." "Hey, what's the kid's name?" "Markin." "Otto." "Nice to meet you." The sound of a car horn startled Otto. It turned out that Mary had asked her husband to teach her how to drive. But this skill made him uneasy, so he took the initiative to come to her home to be her coach. Before Mary did not forget to bring him breakfast. Although driving was chaotic at times, Otto always maintained a normal state of communication with Mary. "Stop the car, people, stop the car. Don't hit the back of someone's car." Finally the car stopped. The light is green, but Mary is still stressed. The car behind her was honking continuously, making her mood even more bewildered. Slowly Mary still didn't successfully step on the gas, but the car behind always kept pressing the horn. He got angry and went down to discuss with the kid from the back who didn't expect him to directly call him an old man. He grabbed him by the collar and said, "Will you sound the horn again? Are you sure to die with me?" When returning, Otto strict like a father. At the same time as gentle as a father, he slowly encouraged Mary to successfully drive away. He took her out to eat. This was the thing Sonia liked to eat the most before she died. When Mary asked if they had children, Otto avoided it, but then Mary still needs his help. Since having a baby, she has never been able to go out to dinner with her husband. She hoped that he could take care of the two Otto children this time without protest, but agreed. He plays with two kids very happily like grandpa. By the time the couple came back, it was quite late. When he returned, Luna didn't forget to ask him to use a toy to punch his shoulder. They found out their dishwasher wasn't very good and he miraculously tidy. The next day he met Marco again. He heard the bell that he knew there was a problem with the car, so he helped him fix it and gave him a toy. After he left, a reporter came to him because last time he saved a person at the pier, so a lot of people were interested. The reporter hoped to interview him, but he didn't pay any attention to her. Mary thinks Otto helps her too much. She wants to help him clean the house, but he refuses. He just hopes Mary makes him more cookies. Mary hopes he can come out of his wife's death. No wonder this statement angered him. He just blamed Mary and then left the house even though Mary knocked on the door but didn't come out. Otto is always in the memory with his wife. The couple got married and had a baby to celebrate. When she was 6 months pregnant, they went to the waterfall. In front of the majestic beauty of nature, they once again proved their love. On the way back to the car, there was an accident, so Sonia was also paralyzed with half of her body, but luckily saved her life, but the baby couldn't. It turns out that Markin came because she had nowhere to go, so she came to sleep. Otto arranged for her at the sofa. Her plans also had to be shelved. When he woke up the next day, it turns out that Markin came because she had nowhere to go, so she came to sleep. Otto arranged for her at the sofa. Her plans also had to be shelved. When he woke up the next day, he saw that Marco was preparing breakfast. Even the cat's food was very rich. After eating, he took Marco to patrol around to pick him up. He showed him the daily things he did. During the pickup time, Jim also followed. When gossiping, Otto heard that his best friend was going to a nursing home. Some people wanted to buy their house back. After hearing the news, Otto was a little angry and came to your house to find your wife. See merchants handing them documents. He apologized and promised to help him solve this. When he got the documents, he went to Mary's house to borrow the phone. Mary disagrees because he didn't say why did he hang up the phone, why should he borrow her phone? What happened that day? Do you know how long I waited for you at home? I'm so scared and don't know what's going on. I don't know, how can I help you? Mary burst into tears saying how Otto scared her. She said in frustration about what Otto had done wrong and advised him to be happy because there are many people to help him through the bad days. You shouldn't be holding everything on your own like that. In the end, Otto just had to say the purpose of borrowing the phone, and then Mary let him in. Otto also said everything that year. Half a year after Sonia died, he had no meaning to live, so he wanted to find a way to commit suicide. So he cut off the phone at home, but now he thinks Sonia wants him to have a good life because there are so many things he has to do. He called the reporter who wanted to interview him. The businessman was about to sign a contract when Lubin's wife also protested, and the neighbors around also took out their phones and filmed with the reporter who was broadcasting live. The female reporter said that they wanted to trick people into selling their houses. They saw the unfavorable situation, so they quietly left. When I saw my friend's face, I could magically smile. That's right. It feels so good, right? The incident ended there, but on the way home Otto fainted. Mary waited anxiously outside the hospital. Otto has heart disease and an enlarged heart. The nurse explained that Aunt Mary laughed, but suddenly felt unwell. The baby in her stomach wanted to come out and laugh. Otto gave them the cradle he had not yet reached. Mary also brought the whole family in front of Sonia's tissue to pay respects, including the feral cat. Not long after, Amory helped Otto arrange Sonia's belongings. Otto also came out of that obsession, but the older he got, the bigger his heart was also a danger for him. He wrote a letter to give the old car to Mark and to buy a new car to take Mary and the two older children out. As time went by, the green trees were covered with ice and snow. At this time, Mary's family is having breakfast on the wall, and there is a picture taken with Otto. When the husband received the goods, he discovered that Otto did not clear the snow today. Mary had a bad feeling and ran to Otto's house. When they reached the place where he was no longer breathing, Mary was heartbroken, holding his body and crying. She soon considered him her father. They discovered the letter Otto left. In the letter he also treated Mary as a daughter. He told her not to be sad this time. He really didn't have to commit suicide. Because of his heart he already foresaw. He asked her to take care of the cat. She helped him with a simple funeral. Attending the funeral were all his neighbors and close friends. In order for them to see that Otto had a certain contribution, the female reporter also came to see him off. Jim and Markin will later patrol the neighborhood in his stead. In the end he left Mary some fortune. This amount will be observed by an attorney used to raise kids going to college. The rest of the money will be freely used by Mary. His house is also maintained by Mary. Only his recently bought car can only be driven by Mary because he only trusts his daughter. The movie comes to an end. Remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to watch interesting movies with me.